Hey guys, what you're about to see is a first appointment role play acted out by Brian and I. We have here on the board the 7 steps that Brian will now walk you through.
Yeah, and as you watch this role play, you really want to try to identify these steps as they come about. Step number 1, building rapport. This is actually where you are relationship building with the client from the very beginning. Step number 2 is your statement of objectives. This is where you're letting them know exactly why you're there and what the outcome will be, hopefully. Number 3, qualify the decision maker. This is where you're making sure you're talking to the correct person, you're not wasting your time. It's an important step. Number 4, nurse staffing information. This is where you get a chance to brag about yourself, brag about the company, let them know everything great about nurse staffing. Number 5, information exchange. This is where you're asking a series of questions, trying to gather as much information from the client as you can. A lot of this information probably won't be used in the sales process today, but I guarantee you you'll be utilizing it later in your relationship. Step number 6, customer-oriented selling. This is the heartbeat of the entire presentation. Not just that, but the entire sales training that we're doing over the next 2 days. You want to pay very close attention to the customer-oriented selling. And then finally, close. This is where you're asking for an order.
All right, and while you're watching the video, please write down any questions that you may have, and at the end of the presentation, you can ask your regional leader.
Drew?
Yeah, can I help you?
Yeah, Brian Bistany with Nurse Staffing.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good, nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. How you doing today?
Good, how you doing, Brian?
Not bad, not bad. Here's my card.
Oh, thanks, here you go.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And here's the information, including the contract that we spoke about over
Okay.
the phone.
All right, thanks for getting it over.
Yeah. Coming in, I saw some construction outside. You guys built a new wing I read about.
Yeah, we certainly are. We're expanding our ICU. We're currently at 14 beds, and we're actually going to double to 28. So It's a pretty large undertaking.
It is. And when are you looking to open it?
First of the year. We're getting real close, Brian.
Perfect. I will be here for ribbon cutting. Let me know.
Absolutely, that sounds good.
Great. I see Joe Namath, Curtis Martin, Jets fan?
Yeah, I certainly am. I'm ready for the Tim Tebow era.
Yeah, I think the nation is. Having a rough year, I can certainly relate. Bucs fan my whole life, so I've had more than my fair share of rough years.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
It does. We're looking good though, so I'm past it. Drew, let me tell you a little bit why I'm here today. I want to give you some information, tell you a little bit more about nurse staffing. I want to find out more about yourself and about your facility here. And then if we can agree that I can meet your needs, I'm hoping to have terms to do business today.
That sounds fair, Brian.
Okay, great. Before we start, is there anyone else that we should bring in this meeting who may be in the decision-making process? Or are you able to sign the contract and those type of things?
Yeah, I'm able to sign the contract. I've kind of let everyone know you're coming today, so everyone's aware, so I think we can move forward.
Fantastic, great. Well, let's start off with me telling you a little bit about Nurse Staffing again. We are a national provider, coast to coast. We are in 25 different markets across the nation. We've been around for more than 3 decades now. So,
Wow.
Yeah, been around the block, very proud about that. We're JACO accredited, and we're growing all the time. We have an entrepreneurial spirit there at Nurse Staffing. We are opening our owned offices and also allowing, if the correct fit is available, franchises to come in and add on market. So we're big, but we're getting bigger.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very neat.
Yeah. Let's talk about you now and a little bit of your patient care needs. And you told me about the beds in the new wing. How many beds do you have total right now?
We're at 250 now, so
Wow.
then at the first of the year we'll be a little bit further, a little bit higher than that. So pretty large hospital for the area.
Huge. Being that big, what's your census stay like?
Usually hovering around 200, and then as we get into the busy season, which we're soon to do, we'll quickly approach the 230, 240 mark.
Great. So you are seasonal, like a lot of the hospitals in this.
We are. I don't think we fluctuate quite as much, but we do fluctuate some.
Okay. So with that fluctuation and with the seasons and with the new opening, are you currently using the agency?
We are. We have 2 providers, Maxim Healthcare and Nurse Finders.
Ah, 2 big ones.
Yeah, I'm sure you run into them from time to time.
Absolutely. That's okay. That is okay. Is there a certain shift that either you're employees or Maxim or nurse finders really aren't able to fill? Do you go with certain holes all the time? Are you seeing that?
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one for me. It's the weekends and and in particular the night shift. Our ICU is currently at 14 beds, but like I said, we're expanding. We're already using staff in that department, and as we get bigger and double the size, we're probably going to need more staff.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we hear all the time. Other than seasonal, of course, nurse finders and Maxim, we hear nights and weekends, and of course those specialty units, ICU, ER, all those type of things are always a little bit of a struggle when it comes to our facilities. So,
yeah.
Really, what are the most important needs or concerns you have, Drew, when you are using or bringing on a staffing agency?
I think the first thing that's the most important to us is the quality of staff that we receive. We have received unqualified staff.
Hi guys, Brian here again. We decided to pause the sales training here at this critical juncture because it is so important. This is the part where we start to finally fill out the customer-oriented selling chart. Drew has just given me his first concern as a client, the unqualified employees. You'll see me actually write down in front of the client on our COS chart, quality of staff. That's the first concern. After that, I'm going to initiate what's called a stall technique, where I actually ask the client to elaborate on this. You can ask them to elaborate, you can ask them to explain a little more, tell me more. Any of these type of phrases are a great stall technique. I know, of course, the answer of what he means by quality of staff, but I want him to elaborate as much as possible to give me time. This allows me to both write the service feature that's connected to this concern, and of course, the most important, the benefits that are going to alleviate this concern. Again, people buy benefits, so keep that in mind as we move forward. Let's watch. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Tell me what
Sure. You know what? I can actually give you a specific example because it just happened this past weekend. We had a nurse from Maxim come in. We require 2 years experience as well as a CPR and an ACLS. And the person had an expired ACLS as well as they didn't meet that two-year requirement.
Wow. Hey guys, Brian here again. We just paused the sales presentation again because we've come to another and very important part. As you see, Drew has just got done elaborating once I utilize the stall technique. After this, you're going to watch me restate the concern that he's given me for confirmation. I am then going to actually state the benefits that he wishes to obtain and show him how he can obtain these through our Gold Seal feature, thereby resolving the initial concern. Then going to connect the concern to the feature and the feature to the benefits. I'm going to trial close throughout the entire process using phrases like, would you agree, or can you see? Guys, the whole objective of this sales call is to go through these steps and actually get the client to agree that his concern is completely taken care of. You gotta knock that part out of the park. It's the most important part of the entire sales visit. Let's watch. So I guess what I'm hearing, really you're concerned is unqualified employees. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yep. So what you're really looking for is someone with a higher standard, someone more experienced, really to give you that peace of mind to send you home and sleep better at night. Would you agree with that as well?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Drew, we can achieve this through our Gold Seal program. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Our Gold Seal program does mean that we are JCAHO accredited. We do have the Gold Seal of JCAHO. It's not an easy accreditation. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's not a cheap accreditation to get, and that's exactly why a lot of our competitors either go for a fly by the night cheaper accreditation or just don't get accredited at all. Mm-hmm. What this accreditation ensures you as the client is that we're doing all of our due diligence. Background checks are being done on a national level. Drug tests are being done on a 10-panel level, not a 5-panel level. Obviously the easy things, CPR, TB, physical, those things are definitely being done. But then any other things, considering whether it's the testing, specific testing, the ICU, ER, those things, that's all included under our JCAHO accreditation. So can you specifically see where your concern of unqualified employees is really met through our Gold Seal program?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm familiar with the Joint Commission accreditation, and that's great that you have that certification.
Great. And would you agree that our Gold Seal program really gives you that higher standard of care, gives you that more experienced agency employee, and most importantly, gives you peace of mind?
Certainly.
Fantastic.
In summary, let's take a look at what just happened. Drew stated his concern. Quality of staff. I then wrote down his concern on the COS chart. I utilized the stall technique of asking him to elaborate in order for me to have time to write out the service feature and the benefits that address his specific concern. I then stated the benefits that Drew was looking to achieve and explained to him that he can achieve these benefits through our Gold Seal program, which in turn eliminates his concern of quality of staff. And always remember to trial close throughout the entire process, which removes the concern completely.
All right, is there anything else that really concerns you?
You know what? There is. Reliability of staff.
We hear that a lot. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. My staffing coordinators give me some feedback that on the weekends they're leaving voicemails and they're not getting returned. So we're putting out a request for staff, getting no feedback from from the agency as to whether they have any staff available to us.
Great. So what I'm hearing from you is, again, your biggest concern is agency reliability. Is that about right?
That's 100% right.
Okay. What you're looking to achieve through that is really someone who's trustworthy, someone who's local, knowledgeable, not just about the local market, but about your specific facility, really to give you comfort. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Drew, we can achieve this, their staffing can achieve this through our rotation model, and let me explain how. Our rotation model states that we have someone in our local branch rotating the on-call, whether it's after hours or on the weekend, rotating those duties 365 days a year. So whether you call Wednesday at 2 p.m., Sunday at noon, you're going to be talking to that same group of people. You're going to be talking to somebody from our office who's familiar with your facility and who's familiar with the employees that we send here. Can you see where the agency reliability issue is really combated through our rotation model?
Yes, absolutely. That sounds good.
Perfect. And through our rotation model, do you agree that this gives you some trustworthiness, some local knowledge, and again, most importantly, gives you personally some comfort?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Anything else? Any other things?
You know, the only other thing that I can think of is just if I send someone, or if the agency sends me someone that I really like, I'm not getting them back.
Okay. Not getting them back. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Sure. You know, we like continuity of care. It helps with our, patient satisfaction.
Absolutely.
And if I request a nurse, she comes in and does an excellent job, we certainly would love her to come back, whether it be on a 13-week block book, or potentially even hire them on as a full-time staff.
Okay. So when you're saying not getting them back, what I'm hearing is really the agencies are not being flexible at all. Would you agree with that?
That's correct.
Okay. And what you're really trying to achieve here with the flexibility is something that's client-focused for you, or really tailored to your needs as a large hospital.
Yes.
Well, Drew, we can achieve this through our Creative Option program. Let me tell you how. If we send someone that you like, whether you like them after their 5th or 6th shift, or they're really catching on, or whether you like them immediately, you can see that they're going to be a home run hitter, we allow you a couple different options. The first is a direct hire. Take them on as soon as you think that person is, boom, the person you want. It's already written into the contract that I gave to you. Mm-hmm. The fee and everything is in there. We allow you to do that either from day 1 or from day 121. Just let us know. We'll work out the details, and that person can become your employee. We also have a second option of attempt to hire. What that is if you decide that you think you like someone, you think they're going to be a great fit, but you're not really ready to make that big jump into hiring them on. Mm-hmm. We give you a 13-week option where you try before you buy. You have 13 weeks to try them out on a set schedule, whatever you want. And really at the end of that 13 weeks, if you're still comfortable with that person, you're able to bring them right aboard onto your staff.
With no additional charge then?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. No additional charge. So, can you see where your concern of really non-flexibility is wiped out with our Creative Options program?
Yeah, that sounds like a really good program.
Perfect. And can you agree that our Creative Options program really results in both us being client-focused and us tailoring to your needs?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Any other concerns you may have?
You know, I think that really, those are the biggest three that we, week in and week out, struggle with.
Great. Well, then, Drew, I think all that's left for us to do today is really finalize the staffing agreement and start booking shifts.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it today, and then I can give, get it signed and back over to you.
Yeah, fax it back over as soon as you look it over once more. What I'll do is I'll head back to the office.
Okay.
I will talk to our associate branch leaders, let them know your needs, and we will start sending over some qualified candidates.
That sounds like a plan.
Great. Thank you very much for being here.
Absolutely. Have a great day, Brian.
You too, Drew.
Take care.